we gotta talk about a topic that has been going around once every couple of months. It like props up in Twitter. It's about streamers saying that working a 9 to 5 is easier than streaming, or I guess streaming is way harder than working a 9 to 5. I have not seen this clip, but it has been going around. This happens again. This happens once every couple of months. Somebody comes out of the woodwork, like they had an enlightening moment, like their third eye opened, and they go like, "Wait, this me playing video game is actually harder than working at McDonald's? I gotta talk about this." Anyway, I'll give my opinion once we watch this video, but I have a certain mindset on this topic that comes up once every couple of months.
Can't have an opinion on that unless you actually worked a real job and you actually stream. If you didn't do both, you can't have an opinion, bro. That's just the truth.
I mean, it's partly true. This comes off like... This is basically something you can apply to almost anything, this argument. Like, oh, you can't have an opinion on this game if you haven't played it. It's like, well, if the game looks like shit to me, it's gonna look like shit to me, so... I mean... What now? Where are we going with this, with this discussion? Anyway, I do think you have to, a little bit... I guess, have some experience with streaming to be able to make an opinion on whether it's harder than that 5, but overall, I'm gonna say in this case, no, you don't need an opinion. You don't need to have streamed to know if it's harder or not.
When I worked, dude, chat, I used to work one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth, bro. I was working hard, bro. Like, it took a lot of mind power and brain power and a lot of time, bro. Like,
okay, what was the job?
Really difficult job, bro.
Okay, what was the job?
And streaming is still harder, bro. If you go to work once 5 p.m. hits, you don't have to think about that shit at all. You could go home, off for 20 hours before you clock back in, and you're good, bro. People confuse hating your job with it being hard, bro. Just because you hate your job doesn't mean your job is hard. You get what I'm saying? Having to constantly see a million times a day people talking about you, people saying shit, people doing this, people doing that. You don't have to deal with that with a normal fucking job. You don't, on God.
What the fuck are you talking about? You don't need to deal with fucking people talking shit about you on stream every fucking day either. Somebody comes in and talks shit to you, and you click the ban button, and that's it. It's over. You ban them. Have you ever heard the fucking saying, just walk away from the screen, bruh? Like, how is cyberbullying real? Just walk away from the screen, man. What the fuck are you talking about? In a 9 to 5, having someone call out my mistakes is way more fucking stressful than some motherfucker coming into chat and saying I played the game like shittily. What the fuck is this guy talking about? What is his job even? What did this guy even fucking work at? Okay, let's see. Yusuf7N, right? Let's see. Live streams, just chatting, comedian, reactions, of course. 5 siblings. Highlights. First live streamed. Average 6 viewers, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know what this guy was working on. I guess I feel like if you're actually starting off, like, saying an opinion and saying like, oh, I had it so hard, man. The thing that I did was so hard, bruh. You don't even know. Well, what the fuck was the thing that you worked? What would you did? What would you do? You know, when you're having an argument or like a hypothetical or even a fucking straw man with the fucking schizophrenic chatter in your fucking head, then you at least have to say a concise argument. You know, like, hey, I worked at company that did beta testing for software or something like that. Like, just say what the fuck you did. Just saying, oh, I worked so hard. Motherfucker, working at McDonald's is hard, obviously, because you have to deal with motherfuckers every single day. I agree. But let's not get into the whole, like, oh, I worked so hard, man. You don't even know how hard I worked this job that I am totally not gonna fucking even mention at all. What the fuck is you talking about?
Like, if fucking Kevin Hart said making movies is harder than a 9-to-5, nobody would give a fuck. But when a streamer says it, it's the biggest deal in the world, bro.
What? That's because it is. There's so many fucking videos about how much goes into a production of a movie. What the fuck is this argument? Oh, well, actually, working as an engineer and working as a software developer is like so much harder than working as a software developer. I mean, all you have to do is sit on your chair all day and just code, man. What the fuck are you talking about? This is like non-comparable. Two things you're not comparing at all. It's like saying fast food hits different than high-tier 5-star restaurant food. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course, 5-star restaurant food is most of the time will be better than fast food. Or, you know, or saying, oh, well, no, actually, fast food is actually much better than 5-star food because it's cheaper and it's more filling. It's like, yeah, because it's fucking filled with a bunch of bullshit that's supposed to, you know, give you a false sense of security for your stomach. Anyway, here's what I think. Here's what I think about this motherfucker's opinion. There is two key differences, and that's, I think, what kind of job you previously worked and mentality. Like, if you are very prone to you know, having some sort of anxiety, maybe, you know, mental issues, and streaming causes those things to become much more unbearable to deal with compared to a 9-to-5 that you may have worked previously, then obviously you're gonna say streaming is much more difficult. Now, I'm not gonna claim that I'm some super big fucking streamer. I'm not gonna claim that I'm, you know, I run my own merch, I do my own editing, etc. I'm the one-man fucking ship here. I am, but I'm not at the same time. I haven't edited in a while. Regardless, I worked a job that I would consider very fucking difficult because I came in expecting to work as a graphic designer. Maybe start editing videos, etc. Okay, I can learn how to edit, and I did. Simple as. But there came times when I started having to take on responsibilities such as being a recruiter, almost working fucking HR at this company that I worked, or small company, a small business, you know. Sure, he has a slight point that people that hate their jobs will say streaming is easier than working a 9-to-5. I fucking hate my job. I still do hate my job that I don't work at anymore. I still think I would not work there again. I'm actually so checked out from that job. I don't want to work another job like that for like maybe another year. I'm in a very comfortable position right now, somewhat comfortable, where I can make enough money to live and do what I love, which is drawing sexy anime girls, or femboys, or whatever, or furry art. I would not go back to that job. And I still hate that job that I previously worked at. And I would still, in no shape or form, would say streaming is much more difficult than working a 9-to-5. That is, short version, this is bullshit. A complete fucking rage bait post that comes up once every couple of months, and everybody has to say the same fucking thing as the usual, which is that it's bullshit. Long answer is, it depends on mentality. It depends how well you deal with, like, you know, certain aspects of streaming, interacting with people, dealing with potential death threats, dealing with potential bomb threats, dealing with potential molestation threats, etc., etc., etc. You know, if you can laugh it out and be like, banned, that's great. But if you're gonna get immediately, you know, anxiety from that, then it's like, okay, maybe going back to Chipotle or, you know, the office job where you were handing out printed flyers to your boss might be a bit better. And then again, it's very nuanced because with the job stuff, because it's like, well, what if you work a 9 to 5 as a cook? Nobody wants to work as a cook. In all honesty, like there's very rarely people that actually like working as cooks. The teachers that I worked with, like they like cooking. They kind of like their job, but they also hated their job. They come home and they do not cook. They said to me, I don't cook because I already cooked an entire, like, you know, 9-hour shift every single day for a week. So it's like, you know, understandable, you know. if a person that worked as a cook came into streaming, it's like, and let's say they did something similar, they did cooking streams, they would absolutely love doing that. They would not say, oh, this is so much harder than actually being a cook. No, they would actually say, I'm very much happier doing this. So yeah, overall, like this is a topic that again comes up once every couple of months. It's always fucking the same shit where it's like, oh no, you hate your job. That's why you're saying you love streaming. It's like, yeah, does hate for my job have anything to do, in my opinion, that streaming is a lot easier than working a 9 to 5? Maybe you can make that argument if, say, you are editing your own stuff. You are doing your own merch. You're doing everything yourself. Then you may say, okay, this is on par with a 9 to 5. Or you could say, okay, streaming is harder than a 9 to 5 because the 9 to 5 that I worked previously was just sending emails, you know. But again, they say this, right? It's an interesting thing to point out. They say like, oh no, streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. But as soon as you tell them, well, why don't you go back to your 9 to 5 then? They immediately shut up. They go like, no. I'm not going back to my 9 to 5. I mean, this is harder, but I love doing this. Like, is it really harder than if you love doing this? Like what exactly is the difference between the 9 to 5? Is it like, is it the money you make from streaming? Like you're doing this for the money at that point? Maybe that's an argument you could lean into, right? Like, oh, well, actually, I make like fucking 5K a month compared to like the 800 that I made a month working the job, you know, my 9 to 5. Honestly, I have to wonder the merits of expending energy on this kind of discussion alone from a rational standpoint. I mean, I'm doing this for a fucking video, so I can cut it up into a clickbait article, basically, where I basically say, streaming is way harder than working a 9 to 5 as a title. And then, you know, I quickly edit this entire fucking segment and then I get a video out of it on YouTube.